Prepare thyself.
When we speak about life after death, two great traditions stand out: reincarnation and resurrection. In reincarnation, the soul moves in cycles, returning again and again in new bodies. Each lifetime is a chance to grow, to evolve, and to refine the lessons of existence. The body is temporary, but the soul is eternal, moving through the great wheel of life. Resurrection, however, is not cyclical. It teaches that life is linear: one life, one death, and one rising again. In resurrection, the same body is restored, glorified, and transformed, not for another cycle, but for final judgment and eternal destiny. Where reincarnation speaks of many lives and continuous growth, resurrection speaks of one decisive act of renewal. History gives us vivid examples of both. In the 6th century before Christ, Pythagoras taught that the soul could pass from body to body. A century later, Plato described the soul's repeated return to earthly life. Even in early Christianity, Origen, the great thinkers of the 3rd century, suggested that souls existed before birth, an idea that resembled reincarnation, though later condemned by the Church. On the other side stands resurrection. In the Hebrew Scriptures, the prophet Elijah raised a widow's son. The book of Daniel, written in the 2nd century BC, promised a future day when the dead would awaken. In the New Testament, Jesus raised Lazarus, and his own resurrection became the cornerstone of Christian faith, the sign that death itself had been overcome. But long before these stories, the ancient Egyptians developed one of the most detailed visions of the afterlife the world has ever known. They understood the human being as made up of different parts. The Ka was the life force, the vital energy that sustained existence. The Ba was the personality, the unique essence that gave each person identity. When Ka and Ba were reunited, they formed the Ak, the perfected being who could live eternally. This vision blended the ideas of continuity and restoration. The Ba could move freely, echoing the cycles of rebirth, while the Ka demanded reunion with the body, suggesting resurrection. The story of Osiris, who was dismembered and restored around 2500 BCE, became the model. Through him, Kemet believed that resurrection was possible. Their practice of mummification preserved the body so that the Ka, that vital energy, could return. Unlike later traditions that spoke of spirits wandering apart from the soul, Kemet saw the Ka not as a ghost, but as energy itself, but not human form. It was the current of life, tied to both the body and the cosmos. Their sacred writings, especially the Book of the Dead, describe the soul standing before Ma'at, the principle of truth and balance, to be weighed and judged. Those who lived in harmony entered the eternal paradise of the field of reeds. For those of Kemet, death was not an end, but a transformation. Energy could not be destroyed. The soul's essence endured, and through balance, judgment, and reunion, eternal life was guaranteed. Secure. Ankh, Uja, Seneb, may we have life, prosperity, and health. We love you forever.